Hey there, how's it going? Crazy times. I just wanted to reach out and say hi. It's been a while. This is a really important time of year. I guess what isn't in my work, because I say that for every part of the season. Uh, but in my work, this is right now coming up on full moon of the time when we are either in self-realization where we are actually making choices that are fulfilling to us. They're fulfilling ourselves, fulfilling our dreams, harvesting all the work that we've done this year to actually create something, to move in a direction that we've really been wanting to move in, that feels fulfilling. And in polarity, in contrast to that, it's also the time of year where we are in self-defeat mode and where we are experiencing something that feels like the story of our lives. So it's like it always turns out this way. It always goes this way. This is how it always ends. I always end up in this situation. No matter how hard I try, here I am again. So we're circling around towards the end of the year here, and it's like it's ending up in the same place again. Um, for me, that looks like leaving myself out. It looks like me not participating. It looks like me feeling like I really just can't share. I can't put myself out into the world. It's just not safe no matter how hard I try. And literally, I've been sitting here for an hour and a half with the camera on, just looking at this screen, trying to let myself actually just share something, have a voice, and be seen and say hi, right? And I've stopped and started a couple times and just, because my whole being says, no, 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 don't participate. Mm-mm, mm-mm, not okay. Nope, nope, nobody wants to hear what you have to say. Nobody's going to understand what you have to say. All the things, right? Um, and so the reality is that I've had a pretty incredible year. And I haven't been here much because I've been here much and with my clients a lot. I took a very major step, and after the completion of a book that I co-wrote and designed the whole thing, I stepped away from a project because it was taking away from my dream. It was me putting all of my creative energy into something that I care about, but that isn't my dream and is literally taking me away from my own work. And that was a really big move. It was a scary move. It was a difficult move because I care about this person. Um, but the circumstances were not fulfilling my dream. They were actually fulfilling the way I defended myself in the world, which is I will go help somebody else to express themselves. I will go help and bring all of my creativity to make somebody else's dream come true. There's nothing wrong with that, except when that's not fulfilling my dream and it starts sucking at my own soul, and I don't have the energy, the creative energy, or the time or anything to put into developing my own work. And so about 5 or 6 months ago, I let go of that business, and all of my fears and all of my survival instincts came up, and it's really taken me time, more time than I realized, to find my legs again and to figure out how I want to move forward. Um, and then when it comes to like, oh, I'm going to put this out into the world, woo, zip, don't, do not, do not express. I can express for other people. I can be in session and I can see and I can do all these things. But the second it's about expressing my own wisdom and putting that out into the world, whee, it's like deer in the headlights. So I've been doing a lot of work with that. And so this time of year, pay attention. What is it that's really frustrating you? And what is it that it feels like this is the way it always goes? I had a session this morning with someone who um, it's like it always turns out to be her fault. Everything always turns out to be her fault. And she's the one to blame, right? Here we go again. And she's like going into defense mode. You're like, I didn't even make those decisions. I wasn't even responsible for this. And now this person is like making me the one that's responsible. And I feel, and she needs to have a conversation with me because right? And it's like, it's not even me. But she's making it her fault and getting defensive and feeling like it's all that again, right? And it's like, it's always turns out like this. It's always me, right? It's always something I did that I did wrong. Yeah. No, that's not what's happening here. It doesn't have to go that way. That's not the direction this has to go, right? There's another direction it can go, and that's the work that we were doing. And with her survival instincts, boom, I mean, she's starting to see it, right? She's actually seeing it, and it's more about understanding the dynamic a little bit more deeply and understanding how to respond and how to do this in a way that's in our power, with grace and with love, in a way that takes care of her and is compassionate with this other person, without taking all that on and then feeling stuck in it again. Another person that I work with um, was similar to me, actually. Um, his partner's friends from years and years and years ago were all getting together, and he's with them. He's sort of like the sticking out, the sore thumb, standing out, doesn't have the history, doesn't have the thing, doesn't have the stuff. And he's just like, why am I here? Why am I here? I don't really belong here. And that's a theme that's just like it comes around in his life again and again and again and again. Like, why am I here? This doesn't feel like I should be here. When in reality, it is like everybody, of course he gets to be there. And the work that we were doing was seeing that the ways that those people were the same were far fewer than the ways that they were unique, because we're all completely unique individuals, right? And he could actually lean in to exploring and to finding out who these people were and what they were interested in, and feeling like he could also participate and be a unique individual and share and do those kinds of things. And his survival instincts just didn't see that at all, right? It was just like, well, here I am again, just stuck and don't even belong, and why am I here? And feeling uninteresting and unimportant and all of those things. So, it always comes back to me being in this group, and I don't even know why I'm here, right? His version of something similar to me, which is I don't belong. Um, there are so many different examples of this. Oh, another one is here I am again, just completely inconsequential, right? And if I do anything to try to do something for myself, it causes all of these unintended negative consequences. I cause all of these problems. It always comes down to that, right? So I just don't get to do anything that I want to do. I can't shift in that direction because it just causes all of these problems for somebody else. And it's this aspect of, yeah, when you make yourself consequential, there might be consequences, right? But when you're making your own dreams come true, um, like I mean, if you're not making your own dreams come true and then you're fighting and then you're doing all this stuff, then you create some pretty negative consequences. But there's also an aspect where no, you really do, you get to be consequential in your own life. And you get to be responsible for yourself, and you get to be responsible for what it is you want, and not sort of need it from somebody else. And then, so this aspect of, once again, I'm inconsequential. I'm not interesting, or I'm bored or boring, or um, things like things like that. Where so looking at what's going on in your life where it feels like, ugh, here I am again. Here I am again. And the feeling, it sort of feels like I'm just sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place, and there's nothing I can do. There's absolutely nothing I can do. And the reality is that there is something we can do. We can make different choices, but they're kind of scary because it means putting ourselves out in the world and expressing ourselves in a way that in the past hasn't felt safe. So we're in sort of this battle inside, mm, big battle inside of ourselves. We feel like we're fighting this person outside of ourselves, but we're really not. I mean, in some cases, okay, we are, that we have manifested, we put ourselves in situations that are not safe, and this is happening, and things in the world that are not safe. I'm not talking about that, but the real the first battle for most of us that are not in a war zone or some of the other horrific things that are happening in this country right now. Um, when we're just talking about our day-to-day relationships and our jobs and our families and things like that, um, we do have other choices. We just don't know how to do it. And that's what my work's about. My work is about understanding, how do I keep creating this self-defeating prophecy? How do I keep fulfilling this self-defeating prophecy that always leads me back to this same place where, using my example, like, I'm just not wanted. I don't get to participate. I have to just leave myself out. I have to just disappear. Um, and that is what my work is about. And it starts with an understanding of the ways that we're denying ourselves right out of the gate. So a self-awareness piece. And then it works into a self-expression piece where we're getting out of self-defense, the way that we're defending ourselves because we're denying ourselves. And then it works into a self-realization piece, a fulfillment piece, rather than a self-defeat piece. And there's a whole bunch of steps in it. This is not an on-off switch. But if you're in a place where you are really experiencing that, maybe it's related to work or a relationship or something where it's just like, I am just here again, and I am stuck, and I am done. I'm so tired of this always coming around. I thought I was doing something different. I changed jobs, or I changed relationships, or, I made different choices, but here I am again. If you're feeling that strongly and you really want to know what that is and understand how to get out of that, I can help. And one of the first ways that you could test this out is to do an intro session with me. And I charge for that session. It's $125 for an hour, sometimes a little bit longer. Um, and we get to do some work together. This is not just a, let's talk about this stuff. This is you get to experience your own resistance. You get to experience some of your own self-defeat in a way that's kind of undeniable, where you kind of go, oh, that's what she's talking about. Um, and you walk away with something to help you right now, immediately. Now, is it going to solve all the problems? Is it like, oh, it's just this one little thing that's going to get you, solve everything and now you've got it? No, it's not that, because this is way more complicated than that. Um, but there is a clear map that I can show you. And if you are willing to look in the mirror, if you're really willing to see what it is that you're not seeing, I can help you see it in a way that you're not going to get in counseling. That's a different thing. And you're not going to get in coaching, because that's a different thing. And my thing doesn't really have a name yet. Don't know what to call it. but it is an alternative to these things. A lot of people have come to me after working with coaching where it's like, okay, I set all these goals and I did this stuff and I'm still struggling with these same things. And it's like, yeah, I get that. I understand why. And so many people have said to me, I spent years in counseling and I came in and did your point of view session and all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, how come nobody told me this before? Right? So I am available. I am putting myself out now as available for the first time in quite a while because I was kind of protecting that space for myself to do some of my own work. Now I'm opening up that time. So I am available for intro sessions. I am available for point of view sessions, which follow the intro session. And I'm going to go ahead and put this out right now. I wasn't going to, but I am going to do that. I am going to open up something new this year. Um, I have been working with a whole bunch of clients for a very long time, and I just started pulling us together as a group once a month, and it's really powerful to get to see the similarities and the differences and to share language and all those kinds of things. So, um, starting in November, I am opening up 10 slots for people who would like to do this work with me to get out of their self-denial through self-awareness, to get out of their self-defense and into self-expression and get out of self-defeat, these self-defeating patterns, and into self-realization so that you're actually more fulfilled. It's a year-long journey and it's meeting every week, one-on-one, plus once a month with the group. Plus, I'm going to do 2 retreats, one in the spring, around the spring equinox, and one in the fall, around the fall equinox. These will not be additional charges except for your travel and food and lodging. That'll just be a part of our group. And if this is something that you are interested in, I'm going to be putting some more out about it. But if this is something that you're interested in, DM me and maybe set up that intro session. And let's do some work together and let's see what the fit is and let's see if this is something that you're interested in. So, last thing to say is just this is the season where we will give up on ourselves. We will say, this is just the way it is. This is just the way it will always be. And we give up. And if we're not ready, then sometimes we just need to give up and try again next year, right? But if we are ready, and you want somebody to be able to walk with you and help you to see this stuff, I'd be really interested in talking to you. So thanks for listening. Good luck with the rest of this year, and I hope to connect with you very soon. Bye.